Good evening, everybody, Dhamma friends. Welcome back to day 17 of the Monday Sutta discussion. All right, so we'll get started by looking at the topic today. As Brother Leslie said, it is the fourth noble truth. Now, the fourth noble truth has been already discussed by me for many days, but we have discussed fourth noble truth today in a way that we understand that it is a part of a single process, what we call the Four Noble Truth. Today, we're going to look at it as the Fourth Noble Truth. Maybe we might review, and you might probably, I would say, think about some of the homework you did about these path factors. You might probably go back to some of the memories about each noble path factor. But anyways, we will see how it looks like. First of all, let me take you to the text. This is where we understand. Okay, so we have done up until here. Chago Patanisago Mukti Analayo. Right? Now, from 43 onwards, Idam Kopana Bhikkave Dukkha nirodha gāminī paṭipadā ariyasaccaṁ. Idam Kopana Bhikkave. Now, this bhikkhus, monks. Dukkha means unsatisfactoriness. Nirodha means cessation. Gāminī means, what does gāminī means? Path, or the way. Right? Path, or the way. I heard today we are having two TVs. Can you see the text from the two TVs? I just wondered. I have sort of zoomed now. Can you see the text from the TV when I showed you? Not that clear? It's clear. Okay, good. Dukkha nirodha gāminī paṭipadā. Gāminī, the way, I would say. Paṭipadā, the path. Nirodha gāminī, the way leading to paṭipadā, path. Ariyasaccaṁ, noble truth. And then you can see the very popular number of 8 noble path factors. Ayam eva ariyo attangiko makku. It is this noble path with 8 factors. Attangika, 8 factors. Makku means path. Ariyo means noble. And Sayatidam means, that is, maybe, what are they? All right. After today, you can see here, we are going to discuss about the Triparivatta and Dvadasakkara. This is a further analysis about the Four Noble Truths. This will be our next topic. But today we will be finishing up with the Four Noble Truths, especially the context. Now, I'm going to note today, talk about the Fourth Noble Truth, especially its relevance, and probably the overall significance of the Four Noble Truths too. First, the elephant's footprint from the Paṭipadā Sutta. This is a very famous sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. It says, by Venerable Sariputta, friends, just as the footprint of all legged animals are encompassed by the footprint of the elephant, and the elephant footprint is reckoned the foremost among them in terms of size, which means, now, if you see the animals, all kind of animals in the forest, especially their footprint, and the elephant footprint is the largest, and all the other animal footprint can be put inside the elephant's footprint. In the same way, all skillful qualities are gathered under the Four Noble Truths. What does it mean? All the kusalas, whatever the kusalas you are doing, they are what you call revolve around. They are spread out inside Four Noble Truths. That means you will be not able to do any good kusala, I would say kusala, without putting them into the context of the Four Noble Truths. Right? The example is here, the elephant foot. Elephant foot is the largest footprint in the forest, where all the other animals' footprint can be put inside. That means it is in the same way, Noble Eightfold Path is the largest context of our Dhamma practice. There's no other practice in the Buddhist text. You could say, right, mindfulness, samadhi, sila. No, it is the whole Noble Eightfold Path. It is the main practice. When you say you practice a Dhamma, it is not one particular thing. You are practicing your Dhamma journey means Noble Eightfold Path. That is what you are practicing. There is no other Dhamma journey other than practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. You can't say, I do Satipatthana, I only do Samatha, I only do Vipassana, I do Samadhi, I only do Sila. No, they are not going to be the proper way to say. Your Dhamma journey is the Noble Eightfold Path, which has everything together. This is what we are discussing many other days. Let's go back again to the notes. All skillful qualities are gathered under the Four Noble Truths. Under which four? Under the Noble Truth of Unsatisfactoriness. And under the Noble Truth of the origin of the Second Noble Truth. Under the Noble Truth of cessation of the unsatisfied Noble Truth. And under the Noble Truth of the path of practice leading to the cessation of unsatisfactoriness, which is what we are discussing in particular today. So that means these four, which make up the Four Noble Truths, is the whole practice. You are not going to practice any other thing in your Dhamma. This is the main practice. And the Buddha in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta clearly mentions that becoming a Sotapanna, becoming a Sakadaga, becoming an Anaga, becoming an Arahant is still possible if somebody practices the Four Noble Truths. Especially the Four Noble Truth means the Fourth Noble Truth. That is the practice. You can see in any doctrine and discipline where the Noble Eightfold Path is not found. If somebody says, I do this, but there is no any emphasis, there's no any relevance to the Noble Eightfold Path. No contemplative of the first, second, third, fourth, that means Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahant is found. They will not come to anybody without this path. But in any doctrine and discipline where the Noble Eightfold Path is found, contemplative of the first, that means the stream winner, once returner, non-returner, Arahant, they are to be found. Right? This is also very interesting. And if anybody dwells rightly this way, this world will not be empty of Arahants. That means it is a clear indication that what you call becoming an Arahant, becoming a Sotapanna, becoming an Anagami, becoming an Arahant, they are still need to be considered as to be possibilities, potential things that one can attain. Also, I want to quote another sutta to talk about the Fourth Noble Truth, in particular the Noble Eightfold Path. This is called Avijja Sutta. In this Avijja Sutta, it is said that ignorance, avijja, precedes the attainment of unskillful qualities with lack of moral shame and moral fear following along. That means whenever we do an akusala, that state of mind of avijja, that state of mind of akusala is always preceded by avijja. Avijja means, what does avijja mean? Avijja means not knowing the Four Noble Truths. That is avijja. Because every time you make an akusala, maybe you lie to somebody, you speak some harsh words, you slander, you make gossip. Anytime you make an akusala, your state of mind, that akusala mind, is preceded by avijja, ignorance. not even avijja. Avijja plus hiri and ottappa. Actually, hiri and not, we have to say the opposite. Ahirika anuttappa. Let me write those words for you. Ahirika anuttappa. Ahirika and anuttappa. I will get a little bigger. Lack of moral shame and lack of moral fear. Fundamentally, avijja, right? Not knowing the Four Noble Truths. Let's see whether I can make it a little bigger. Avijja. Okay. So it is said that whenever someone is going to do an akusala, that akusala is preceded by avijja and ahirika and anuttappa. So that means if somebody is going to do a kusala, then what should happen? It should be the other way around. Then it should be vijja, knowing the honorable truth. It should be hiri, moral shame. Then ottappa, moral faith. So I would call this as what we call. This is how we are doing akusala. This is the thing that is happening to us when we are doing akusala. This is what happens to us. What will happen to us when we are doing kusala? We are always preceded by vijja. Now, knowing the Four Noble Truths, it could be, I would say, all right, this is what we understand here. Ignorance precedes the attainment of unskillful qualities with lack of moral shame and moral fear following along. And ignorance, I would say somebody who is ignorant, sunk in ignorance, gives rise to wrong view. Wrong view gives rise to, this is what happens to someone who is going the wrong direction of the Noble Eightfold Path. That means when someone is, someone's state of mind is preceded by avijja, then definitely that person has no, what do you call, moral shame and moral fear. What is moral shame and moral fear? I would like to know from you. What is it? Do you practice moral shame and moral fear? Anybody wants to share here in our discussion? Hiri, ottappa. Hiri means moral shame. Ottappa means moral fear. Once again, I will show you. See. Hiri, moral shame. Ottappa, moral fear. That means whenever you are doing kusala, you have these two definitely. And when you are doing akusala, you have the opposite of those two, ahirika and anuttappa. That means you have, you don't have these two. So you have ahirika anuttappa, lack of moral shame, or absence of moral shame, absence of moral fear. What does moral shame and moral fear mean to all of you? Anybody wants to share anything? Now, whenever we are doing kusala, that means we have hiri and ottappa. Hiri means we have a moral shame. That means we do not like monas to do an akusala. On the other hand, we are scared of doing an akusala. Why is it? It is because why we are scared of doing an akusala? It is because we will have to face the consequences of akusala in this life, next life, maybe socially, legally, in whatever the ways. Right? So we don't want to do it, right? So that is called otta. If you are scared of doing that, you have otta. If you are shy about it, or I don't want to do this because it's a shame on my family, shame on me, shame on my relationship, shame on my other things, shame on my personality. That means you have hiri. But for people who are doing akusala, what do they have? They have ahirika. They have anotta, lack of hiri, lack of otta. We call it ahirika anotta. But now the text tells us here, let's go back here. Whenever you are going to do any unskillful activity, akusala, what you have at that point is you are preceded with, your mind state is preceded with avijja, ignorance. Avijja means, what does avijja mean? You don't know what the Four Noble Truths are. At least a literal understanding of what they are. So that is why this understanding is very, very important. What these individual noble truths are, even though it is a single process. That means whenever someone is doing an akusala, that person has no good understanding of the Four Noble Truths. Right? That is the simple understanding. You may following many talks, but still you are doing akusala. Why is it? That means that understanding has not gone to your heart. You are not seriously putting that into the phenomena, into the events that you are facing. So now you understand. When people do akusala, they are preceded with not knowing the Four Noble Truths, which means avijja. Not even avijja. Once you are troubled with avijja, now we also have avijja if we are not enlightened folks. But our avijja can be temporary, curbed, mitigated, neutralized in a way to do good karmas, to do akusalas. But their avijja is full blown. They are so much troubled by their avijja, so that they are going into akusala without hiri and otta. You are morally shamed in doing akusala. You are morally feared in doing akusala. That means you have hiri, otta. But those folks, they have ahirika, they have anotta. So it's very interesting. So the reason why I brought this avijja sutta tell you that avijja is not just ignorance. What is being ignorant? Being ignorant about the context of the Four Noble Truths. So it's a big issue. Not even that you not have attained nibbana, but also most of the akusala activities happen because you are not putting the knowledge of Four Noble Truths into those particular events. You might not be an enlightened person, but at least if you haven't been able to put that knowledge into, this is the first noble truth, this is what it means. Second, third, fourth are individual path factors, so I should not do that. That is at least better than even not having anything at that. So here avijja means that. Then the opposite, vijja, you can see the opposite over here. You can see here in the next line. Knowledge precedes the attainment. Knowledge means, what does knowledge mean here? Is this the normal knowledge that people acquire in the colleges, universities? It's not that knowledge here. This is, now some people translate this to be true knowledge. Vijja, that is avijja, this is vijja. This means that you have a certain understanding about the Four Noble Truths, literal or contextual, and you have been able to put that knowledge, put that understanding into certain events where you are engaged with, maybe household, outside, work, everywhere, when you are engaged with other people, dealing with other people. Because you have that particular ability, that means you have vijja, then you are supported by hiri, otta. But then what is happening to you? knowledge or vijja precedes the attainment of skillful some very firm in knowledge, that is firm vijja, gives rise to samadhi. Samadhi gives rise to samma sankappa. Samma sankappa gives rise to samma vacha. Samma vacha gives rise to samma kammanta. Samma kammanta gives rise to samma ajiva. Samma ajiva gives rise to samma vayama. Samma vayama gives rise to samma sati. Samma sati. Samma sati gives rise to samma samadhi. Now, what does it mean? Vijja matters. Avijja matters. Now, a lot of people think avijja means, oh, I have to become an enlightened person. Yes, one day. But before that, you should have this understanding about what they are in that context. That will help you to minimize your akusalas. Stay more focused on kusalas. Right? Now, let's see the wrong side one, I mean the opposite one. The paragraph above. Mendicants. Ignorance. Avijja precedes the attainment of unskillful qualities. With lack of moral shame, ahirika anutta, moral fear, following along, sunken ignorance, gives rise to micchaditti. Micchaditti gives rise to miccha sankappa. Miccha sankappa gives rise to miccha vacha. Miccha vacha gives rise to miccha kamma. Miccha kammanta gives rise to miccha ajiva. Miccha ajiva gives rise to miccha vayama. Miccha vayama gives rise to miccha sati. Miccha sati gives rise to miccha samadhi. Oh, you can think about how this works. That means all the, I would say, opposite, akusala side of the Noble Eightfold Path, micchaditti, miccha sankappa, miccha vacha, miccha kammanta, miccha ajiva, miccha vaya, miccha sati, miccha samadhi, going to arise when you do not have a particular certain level of, certain degree of understanding and not being able to put that understanding into your daily chores, in your other activities. And then you are going to follow that wrong side. But if you have been able to put that understanding as a knowledge into activities, you might not be an enlightened person at that, but at least you have that sense of knowledge, a sense of understanding, and you have been able to put them into practice in your own way, in your own life. Then what will happen? You have hiri or tappa, and you are going to samma ditti, samma sankappa, samma vacha, samma kammanta, samma ajiva, samma vayama, samma sati. It's pretty easy, straightforward path. Then, this is Avijja Sutta. You can see Samyutta Nikaya 45.1. All right. Then we will have to go to our review slide, 13-day notes. Remember the lesson I did to you just before I left Malaysia, September 25th. So this is again very important because I wanted to probably go over a couple of things here. It's pretty important. Now in the Dhammacakkapavatthana Sutta, as you remember, we discuss about Kamasukhallikāma Yoga, Attagiramatana Yoga, and then we discuss the importance of the Fourth Noble Truth along the extremes, Kamasukhallikāma Yoga and Attagiramatana. Then, in the Noble Eightfold Path, the most important, what you call path factor that we are going to start our practice was being discussed as samadhi. Now, I want to ask you again, after many days of discussing samadhi along the days, why is samadhi very important? Now, if you can remember samadhi, a lot of people translate samadhi differently. But samadhi basically means that you have an understanding about 10 things. Remember what they are? Let's go to our slide. This is our Sammaditthi slide, which we did on, I think, July 31st. I think we discussed Sammaditthi to be right here. These 10 things. There is merit believing, there is merit in giving alms, dana. There is merit in large dana. There is merit in small offerings, dana. There are results from kusala and akusala. My mother is a special person. My father is a special person. There is this world and there is other world, that means punarbhava, rebirth. There are spontaneously reborn beings. And there are ascetics, wise people who develop special powers through direct knowledge. Okay, so these 10 are the basic, things that you have to develop in your mind to create Sammaditthi. But if you look at these 10, what is the most important element that you need to have in your mind? What is the concept that has been pervading everywhere in those 10? Kamma is the kamma. You could see here, there is merit in giving alms. What does it mean? That means you are creating good karma. Merit again. Good and bad action, there are results. Vipaka, that means kusala kamma. Mother is a special person, father is a special person. How do we relate that? Good karmas. When you take care of your mother, father, you are creating good karma. It's also karma, right? And then again, this world, next world. What does it mean? How does rebirth get going? Rebirth get going because of the karmas. Otherwise, how there is a rebirth? And then there are spontaneously reborn beings. Again, rebirth. There are kind of beings who are reborn without mother-father connection. Rebirth also come. And there are wise people who develop certain powers through meditation. That means it is also a certain angle of karma, because when you are developing good skillful activities, then you are creating the results of them. So if you look at these 10, they all reflect about one very important concept. What is it? Karma. But we have a particular Pali word for that. Let's see what does it mean. Go back to our text today. This is the word. Kammasakata sammaditthi. Right view of the ownership of action. Kammasakata sammaditthi. How do we say that? All Dhammacakkapavatthana Sutta. But this is the idea that we discussed through these 10. That means you should have the Kammasakata sammaditthi. That means you have the sammaditthi. How do we evaluate us? How do we understand that we have sammaditthi? If you have a very good understanding of karma and rebirth, every action I do, by speech, by action, by mind, they create karmas. If I do them with intention, volition, then you are believing in karma and rebirth. Because of karma and rebirth, you certainly understand I have to break this cycle. How do we break it? By attaining nibbana. That initial understanding of that, we create karmas. Because of those karmas, there are next lives coming down. That is what the sammaditthi is all about. So, what you are having at the end of a good level of sammaditthi means you are attaining kammasakata sammaditthi. How do we call it? Kammasakata sammaditthi means you are going to be responsible for your own activities. Actually, we have to take it. Now, a lot of people who are doing akusala kammas, are they trying to take the responsibility of those actions? Not even the next life. Even in this life, they are not. Unless they are penalized. unless they are penalized. When they are penalized, they get to think, I did this thing. Otherwise, they are not thinking about it. So whenever you think karma and rebirth in a particular good way, then you are going into this samadhi, what you call the overall understanding of the samadhi. When you have the kammasakata samadhi, will you be able to do an akusala? Will you? I'm asking you, will you be able to do akusala? No, you know that this creates akusala vipakas. This will take me to samsara. Right? So that is the purpose of samadhi. Very interesting. A very good, strong understanding about the nature of your own good karmas, bad karmas, and the results in this life, next life. So absolutely. This is where you understand the nibbana too, samsara and nibbana. All right. I'm not going to get into details about samadhi because we all discussed. I want to point out certain things that are very important to our discussion. I might pick up a couple of things. So here you can see right view of the ownership of actions. That means when I do a bad karma, my mother is not going to be responsible for my bad karma. I am going to be responsible for my bad karma. If I do a good karma, it's me. Right? It is said, kamma sakomi, kamma dayadu, kamma bandhu. My only relative is my own karma. Kamma paṭipadā, my only help, support in my life is my own good karma, bad karma. Kamma yoni, kamma bandhu, kamma paṭipadā, yang kamma karisami, kalyanam va tasadaya tu bhavisami. If I do any kalyanam va, good karma, papakam va, bad karma, I should know that I am going to take the ownership. Sadly, unfortunately or fortunately, that results. It is the ripple effect of the karma and vipaka, which means it is all about karmas. In Buddhism, how do we explain karma? I already explained to you many days, but let me ask you. Karma is not, actually the word is karma. It is an imported word. It is an imported loan word from Hinduism. It's not originally Buddhist word. Right? It's not Buddhist, it's like Nibbana. It's a loan word, imported word from Hinduism. And Buddha had his own interpretation about Nibbana, karma. So what does karma mean in Buddhism? I ask because I probably think there are newcomers today, a couple of them. Do we have newcomers today? You can raise your hand if you are a newcomer. Oh, there are newcomers, so it's good to ask. What is karma in Buddhism? Especially in our discussion. Anybody can come forward and then can answer. What is karma? Everybody talks about karma. What does karma mean in Buddhism? How do we know karma? Oh, you want to say anything? You can come forward. I think the mic is muted. Can somebody unmute the mic so I can hear? Oh, you can do that. Good. Oh, good. Yes. What does karma mean in Buddhism? Oh. No, I'm asking how do we define karma in Buddhism? Not what are the karmas, merits or demerits. I'm asking how do we define karma? Like let's say, how do we say that someone is doing a karma? Cause and effect. That is paticca samuppada actually. Intention, that's a good answer. But we normally say cetana. If any activity is done with volition, we call cetana, that will become a karma. What is cetana? Chetana means that you are doing it with purpose. You know what you are doing. That means most of the activities we are doing, they are not become a part of karma. They are karma-less actions. You are driving on the road, then how many animals you are stepping over? Are you creating karmas? Are you? You are not. But if you are driving on tonight, I'm going to kill many animals which I don't see them on the road. I'm going to make 100,000 animals on the road, tiny animals. You are creating karmas. You might not see, but your mind is so evil at that point. Right? So Buddhist karma is a very, very intellectualized type of karma. That means it is not all activities, all actions you do. If you are doing with intention, if you are doing with volition, that you know that you are doing this to somebody, you are doing this to you, you are creating karmas. Are you doing karmas now? Yes, you have a purpose of coming over here. You want to learn. Why you want to learn? Just to write down things on the piece of paper, on the books, and put in your shelf, in the bookshelf, in your house. Why do you do that? You need to practice it. This is the purpose of your coming here. We can fill up our bookshelf with many Dhamma books, right? To the level that you won't be able to live in your room. Lots of Dhamma books, but it doesn't make any sense. It is the practice, right? So, Buddhist karma means any activity you are doing with volition is karma. But in other, I'm not saying the religions, in other places, they say every activity you are doing will become karma. Somebody raised the hand. Do you want to ask a question? Yes, please come forward here and ask a question. I don't have opinions. I normally talk about Dhamma from the text and my some of the experiences too. What I can say is, okay, as you said, if you are good, you are good. What made you to be a good person? Then that we have to talk about that. Not then everybody should be good people. If you are good, be good. That means definitely there must have been a reason behind that goodness of that particular person. Maybe the environment, maybe their family background. This is one. Maybe that person has self-improved in his life or her life. Or maybe there may be a person in a family who has a very negative influence from the family, negative influence from the environment, but that person is good. That means this individual has been developing these good things from past lives. Because Buddha talks about the samsara. We cannot evaluate anybody from only one life. Right? We cannot do that. Nowadays, people talk about why can't women become the Buddha? Yes, they can become the Buddha. Some are some Buddha. But this is a samsara. You cannot do it. You cannot answer that question in one, from one life. Now, science talks about only one life. Right? So in this way, my answer to that question is that there must have been a driving force behind someone's being good. So we have to find out that if you want to answer it. Because in Buddhism, we believe that there is a cause and effect. And there's a cause to an effect, and the effect causes another cause to arise. So that is the answer to that question. So we are not randomly good. We are not haphazardly good people. There must have been something that made us good. It could be a very subtle reason, it could be a solid reason. That is how we look at it from the Buddhist perspective. So here, now what we understand is a good understanding about what we call karma is very important. That is where you say, you have samadhi. Now, how do you call that someone has samadhi? If you have kammasakata samadhi, that means you are living a life by thinking that you are taking the ownership of your own karmas, good, bad karmas. There you have a perfect level of samadhi. But you are doing it through the lens of these 10. Right? This is how we understand samadhi. So this is the first path factor which we have to do in our practice. And without doing this, you cannot start your practice. Now that is why I always say, if you go to Samma Kammanta, maybe Samma Vacha, maybe of course Samma Sati, meditation, and Samma Samadhi, you are going to miss out on this important part, and then you are not going to practice your Dhamma journey smoothly and consistently. You must have started from Samma Ditti. Samma Ditti means have a very good understanding of the karma, especially in a way that you are going to take the ownership of your own karmas. Right? This is what we understand here. Then we are going into, because I'm going to sort of make it brief, make it short, save some time. Then we have Samma Sankappa. Now, according to my sessions which I have been sharing with you, Samma Sankappa only arises within you when you have Samma Ditti. Why is it? If you don't have Samma Ditti, this Kammasakata Samma Ditti and all those things, then what are the intentions that will arise in your mind, in your thoughts? They could be very weird intentions. And the Buddha said there are 3 types of intentions that we have to cultivate. As you can see here, Sammasankappa. See, what are these 3 wrong? Especially if you are not having right view according to the Dhamma perspective, you will have a lot of lust, a lot of ill will, a lot of cruelty. Kama-sankappa, Vyapada-sankappa, Vihimsa-sankappa. Why is it? You don't believe in the karma. You don't have a good understanding of the karma. Now, you might think about somebody here, maybe outside, who is only doing good karmas every day, offering dana, doing sila and all that. Right? Maybe not thinking about any cultivation of the mind. That is also a problem, because now that person has to follow the whole noble path, whole Eightfold Noble Path. Right? Not mere doing good karmas is not the way here, but starting with that point here at the Sammaditthi level. So if you have Sammaditthi, you won't have what you call Miccha Sankappa. You have Samma Sankappa. That means you have less Kama thoughts, you have less Vyapada thoughts, you have less Vihimsa thoughts. Kama thoughts means thoughts of intentions of sensuality, intentions of then Vyapada, ill will. Himsa, intentions of cruelty. Now, if you see the society, the world where we are living, if you leave out the first one, you see how many people are interested about cruelty and ill will. Right? They all come because they don't believe in the karma. Torturing, killing, bullying other people, right? They all come because they don't have a good understanding about the karma. That is why Sammaditthi is the starting point. And then you are going to replace these 3 wrong intentions, Miccha Sankappa, with the right intentions. Intentions free from lust, and Kamma Sankappa. Intentions free from ill will, Avyapada Sankappa. Intentions free from cruelty, Avihimsa Sankappa. Now this is what we call by Samma Sankappa. So the driving force for you to practice Samma Sankappa is Sammaditthi. Now, Dukkha, nirodha, gāminī, paṭipadā, ariyasaccaṁ is this practice. Sammaditthi. Now here, Samma Sankappa. Samma Vacha. Let me ask you, I think you have already studied about it before. What is Samma Vacha? Right speech. What is right speech? Anybody who wants to share what you have learned already? What is Samma Sankappa? You don't need to go back to read the notes. What is Samma Sankappa? Samma Sankappa means no lying, no slandering, no harsh speech, no gossiping. Is it easy for us not to do this for bad speeches in our life? It should be easy, but the circumstances that are happening around us, they are making us not to think about that. They are always asking us to go the opposite way. That means to lie, to what you call divisive speech, slander, and then to talk bad words to other people, swear words, and then to gossip. So we have to actually now one of the things that I want to tell you at the end of today's session is that don't wait the society or your life to create a good environment to practice the Noble Eightfold Path or the Four Noble Truths. You have to create conditions. You have to create conditions for you to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. That means you cannot blame your people in the household because of him, because of her, because of that person, because of my work, because of outside. I cannot practice the Noble Eightfold. You have to create your good, positive conditions so that you are able to practice. Now, let's say you are with a liar. You could be with a liar, right? At certain points. There are many liars in the world. Okay? And I think I already discussed with you, when you speak the truth, you have to speak the truth with lots of considerations. Sometimes you are not able to speak the truth. Why is it? I told you, it is not the mere reporting of what happened that we understand by Musavada Vedana. What we said about it, whenever you talk something, you have to understand what will happen after I talk this to somebody. If I know that after I say this, two people are going to fight each other, going to have a very terrible situation, commotion, fight, I must think twice about that particular thing. Maybe I'm going to avoid that, say something else, but later on one day, I have to fix this in a proper way. Because have you seen there are some people, maybe some Buddhists, who are going to practice these things in a very terrible way. Whatever happens, I'm going to be a correct person. I'm going to be a moral person. I don't care about other people, but I do my own Dhamma practice. We have to be kind, compassionate. The most important thing in Buddhism is compassion, not wisdom. We will attain wisdom. We are having wisdom to do more compassion to people. Some people misunderstand this. Some people think wisdom is only looking at clarity, what is happening in my mind, what is happening outside. No, it is one part of it, but we are going to attain wisdom at the end of Noble Eightfold Path to be more kind to other people. If you look at the Buddha's life story, if you read it, what is the most important quality he has been practicing every day? Is it great wisdom or is it great compassion? Tell me. What was the main quality that he has been practicing every day? Maha Karuna. This is a very famous word. Not Mahapanya. He has Mahapanya. Why do we have Mahapanya? He has Mahapanya. Why do we have Panya? Just to see things as they are? Is it the only thing? No. I have to serve the people. I have to help out the other people. Buddha did that every day, every morning. Every morning he was watching somebody. Who am I going to help today? Mahakaruna. So I'm talking to those people. If there are people outside in the world that I do my practice, I don't care about other people, that is very bad. That is not being kind. You have to practice your Dhamma things by considering other people all the time. That means you don't have to do anything wrong, akusala, but you have to be very caring, concerned about other people. Buddha did that. Every day he was doing that every morning. One day he saw one man called Bahya Daruji. This man went on a ship voyage. Halfway of the ship was wrecked. And then on that day he is going to die. Then Buddha sped up and he went to help that person. Sopaka, Mattakundali, all these individuals, good and bad individuals. Even Angulimala. In the morning he is looking at who is the person I'm going to help out today. Are we doing that every morning? Are many people doing that every morning? Or are they thinking, whom I'm going to attack today? Whose bad things I'm going to talk about today? Who is my target today? Who am I going to put down today? Maybe today evening, today morning. This is why we have to understand this Mahakaruna. I always tell people, Mahakaruna means great compassion. We might not be able to practice great compassion, because we are not the Samma Sambuddha, but we have to practice then Karuna. Not Mahakaruna, but at least Karuna. How do we do Karuna? We should have wisdom for that. When we have wisdom, we know who is the person I am going to help out today. Where should I go? What should I do? Now, going back to Musavada Veramani. Now, let's say I'm going to talk the truth of what happened. But I have to think about what will happen if I talk this. Maybe I'm going to be silent today. I'm not going to be talking anything today, because if I talk something, it will affect these people. Maybe I'm going to tell that truth not today. Maybe after many months. I'm very concerned about other people. That is kindness. That is compassion. And then Musavada Veramani, then Pisudavacha Veramani. When some people open their mouth, they already divide other people. Break other people's relationships, everything. Because they don't know what they are talking. So Buddha said, always talk things that will unite people, bring people together, keep the relationship together. That's a talent. That's a kusala. Because if we are not mindful what we talk, we definitely create lots of mess between people, among families and everything. Now you can think about, this is not even becoming an arahant. This is your practical life. This is your daily life, which the Buddha talked about. And Parusavacha Veramani. How many of us think about from morning to the evening, are our words very kind to other people? Because words are like knives, right? Whenever we talk, many people can get hurt. There are more sensitive people, there are very strong people. Are we really considering what we talk to other people? Over the phone, maybe social media, maybe in our household, other places. If you are really concerned about what you talk, you're such a good person. You are really practicing Samma. Then Samma, what's the other one? The last one? Gossiping, how do you call it? Sampappala Veramani. Sampappala Veramani means that you are talking only the necessary things. You are not talking unnecessary stuff. When some people start talking, they all talk about things that are not necessary for the conversation. So we have to only talk the relevant things, not unnecessary things, not time-wasting stuff, not something beneficial to other people. You might see that one gossiper meets another gossiper, they talk all the beneficial thing between them. But here what we talk about is kusala stuff, good stuff. Now, when you practice words that are not, that are not what you call musavada, false speech, that are not what you call slandering, dividing other people, that are not hurting other people, that are not wasting other people's time and your time, you are going to practice samma vaca. But this is very important. Whatever the good things you are practicing in your life, you have to always practice those good things with karuna. It's very important. If you don't do that, your practice will not be smooth. You're going to be a very rough person in that practice. I think a lot of people don't understand this. When they practice it, they just want to practice as much as they read from the books, and finally they're going to become a very unkind person. Maybe the earlier version, previous version of that person is better than that. This person was a good person before. But after learning without a proper teacher, proper understanding, they're going to become more rough and more, I would say, what you call not engaging with the society, not engaging in others. Samma vaca. Then when you have samma vaca, good speech, then what will happen? Your actions will become important. Now, here words and then samma kamma. How do we discuss samma kamma? What are the good actions, right actions? What are they? Not killing other people, not going to take other people's lives, other beings' lives, and not taking what's not given, and not misbehaving. Right? These are the first three precepts of the 5 precepts. They are not very big rocket science, right? But you come to this point after what you call samma vaca speech. That means even when you have to practice, when you are going to practice 5 precepts, you must have practiced few other things in your practice. Samma ditti, samma sankappa, samma vaca. Otherwise, your 5 precept practice will not going to be smooth. It's going to be a very difficult journey for you. You might say, today I broke something. Yesterday I broke 1 precept. Why is it? Because you have not started your sila practice from samma ditti. Now, down the path, you have samma kamma, which covers not taking others' lives, other beings' lives, and not taking what's not given, and not misbehaving. Samma kamma. Then samma ajiva. Now, after you made clear of your actions, what is more important to you? Then the way how you are going to make your living. Is it a job? It might be a job. It might be the way of your life, how you are spending your life, right? Now, today, there are people who work online. They might not go out of their household, but they are making money. Right? Whatever the way you are making your living has to be free from, free from cheating other people. There are a lot of things we discuss about it. If you go to samma ajiva text over here, you could see samma ajiva and see what we discuss. See, talking, especially whenever you are going to work, you may have to talk, but some people, they deceive other people, cheat other people by talking. Hinting, belittling, pursuing gain with gain. So these are the main ways of practicing miccha ajiva, wrong living. That means you have to always think about how you are making your living in your life, right? Especially we are in a highly commercialized world now, right? There are lots of promotions happening every day. How many promotions we are getting into our phones every day? Our social media profiles. Sometimes they may be from scammers, right? They may be from scammers. They are going to cheat on us. Sometimes they could be promotions that they just do just to live out of these things, right? But you are not going to be one of them. You are going to be somebody who is creating an honest way of making money, making your life, making your, living. That is important at the level of Samma Aji. Then Samma Vayama. Samma Vayama means, this one we had to discuss a little. What is Vayama, number folks? Vayama. V long A, Y long A, M A. Vayama. What is it? Huh? Effort. Is effort important? Now we know what to do, or we are doing certain things. Why this effort is very important? Because our energy levels are always going up and down, fluctuating, right? Now, if you look at last week, especially your life, you see how much energy. Oh, energy not about normal thing, energy about doing kusala and then preventing from akusala. You know this is kusala, you know this is akusala, but energy has made you incapacitated, not being able to do it properly at the right time. That means you should have a very good understanding about the right effort, not just effort, right effort. And I told you, Samma Vayama means effortless effort. Remember? Samma Vayama means effortless effort. How come there is an effort without effort? Because normal effort is hard working. If you go to the West, they talk about hard working. They talk about effort, they say everybody has to work hard. You won't make any money out otherwise. But this is not hard working. Dhamma practice is not hard working. It's not you go into the forest and do 10-hour meditation. It is a practice that you do smoothly. Your Dhamma practice has to be smooth. Remember the advice the Buddha gave to one monk. I think we have discussed it. I think I shared with you too. There was a monk called Sona. What was his name? Sona. Who was Sona? He was a violinist before he became a monk. A musical person, very easy to understand Dhamma, right? Very sensitive to the sounds, very sensitive to the perfectionism, very easy. Musicians can, I'm not generalizing, but especially in the monk Sona's case, he was able to understand. Then he said, Bhante, I'm going to leave. I can't practice Dhamma. Then the Buddha said, okay. He didn't say anything. He asked him a question. The question was, before you became a monk, you were a violinist, huh? You play well. Very famous one. So let's take two occasions in your practice. What if you play your instrument, too strong, too hard? What will that bring to you at the end, especially as the performance? And he said, it will be rough, and then it won't produce the sound that I expect. What if you, play the instrument so soft? Then it will become slack. The sound is not even there. So being hard and being soft, don't be too soft in your practice. Don't be too hard in your practice. Now, what does it mean? Then he asked Monk Sona, when you are not too hard on your musical instrument, violin, when you are not too strong in your violin, what could be the sound that you are creating? A very good sound that I can create with that particular musical instrument. Same is the Dhamma practice. In your Dhamma practice, don't be too hard on it, but don't be too soft on it. Be in the middle. Now, this is the problem to many people. Either they are overdoing their Dhamma activities. They are giving lots of pain to them. They are overdoing. They are too much onto their practice. It's not important. You are not going to make anything out of it if you are doing so. But there are people who are taking things very lightly. They are just doing a couple of things only. They are very light in their practice. It is also not good. Try to see your consistency. It is not like a violin, because each one's life is different. Each one's way of practice is different, right? So you have to find out that perfect balance, perfect in between nature, like that. So why right? Effort. Effortless effort means that your energy has to be very much balanced. If you have no balance in your energy, then your effort is going to be just like a hard-working energy. And I told you an example in practicing right effort. What was it? Remember? There was a simile that I explained to you when you have to practice right effort. What was it? A gardening project, right? A gardening project. And I told you what you are doing in terms of right effort is you are doing two things for akusala, you are doing two things for kusala. For akusala, preventing and removing akusalas. And then for kusala, creating and maintaining. Let's go back to the akusala side. Preventing inactive akusala states of mind, putting your right effort to prevent any inactive akusala states of mind. Tell me an example. Now you are not a person who is annoyed by small things. You can tolerate. Your tolerance is like 8 out of 10, not like 5. Okay? But since last couple of weeks, something is happening to you, and you get mad very fast. You get annoyed very fast. Then, now what should you choose at this point? That means you are already a good. So what? So you have to prevent any unnecessary, especially akusala states of mind to appear in your life. Second, remove. Now, unfortunately, you have been, infested with the akusala state of mind already for some reason. Then you are going to remove them. You have a bad anger already, right? And jealousy. So you think that I need to work on it, otherwise this will take me over down the path. You're going to remove it definitely. And then you have to create kusalas, inactive kusalas. And you see that although you are offering dana, you are taking precepts, you are practicing meditation, you are doing so and so, but you understand there are certain things in your Dhamma journey that you have not been incorporating in your practice. So you find out what they are, and putting right effort to create them. And then you already have good things. You already have a very good kusala life. Then you are going to maintain, deepen that practice. I said these are like a vegetable garden project. That means if you have a good gardening project, you don't like any weeds happening in your garden. That means you are doing certain things. You are maybe adding some fertilizer, you are adding some chemicals and all. And the second, removing means now, of course, something has gone wrong. You have weeds already, then you are trying to remove them. Good side. You've been having this gardening project for some time, but you are not happy about it. Means you really need some more fruits, vegetables in this garden. So you are getting some second opinion from other people. I have a garden, but I'm not happy with this garden. Can you give me some second thoughts? Can you give me some idea? Maybe you are approaching a nursery. You are approaching somebody who has some botanical knowledge. So you're trying to create some good stuff in your garden. And for the last one, that is deepening, maintaining your practice, how we can take it. That means you already have a good garden, but you need to maintain it. If you don't maintain it, things will fall apart. So this is Samma Vayama. That means you cannot be a good person in Buddhism just by looking at today. Your practice has to be consistent. Right? This is what Samma Vayama means. There are people who might think yesterday I was a very good person. Because of that, I will be a good person all along. It is not. Every day you have to take care of it. Take care of your state of mind. Take care of Dhammacakkapavatthana. Finally, not finally, Samasati Day. Samasati means now whenever you have the right effort, what is going to be possible for you? Now whenever you have right effort, what is going to be very possible for you? Very easy for you. Sammasati. That means the practice of the four satipatthanas will be your next project at that point. Now, for those people who have no Samma Vayama, no Samma Ajiva, no Samma Kammanta, no Samma Vacha, no Samma, Sankappa, no Samma Ditthi, jumping onto the right mindful satipatthanas. Will this be going to be smooth practice to that person? Never. It's going to be a painful, maybe a not fruitful practice. They will do something, but they don't fit into the purpose of the Dhamma. That is why right effort is the point where somebody is going to get into the satipatthanas. When you have a good practice of satipatthana, what will it give you? Concentration. Right concentration. After right concentration, where is wisdom? Where is wisdom now? Now we are looking for the wisdom. Where is it? Now you already practice Samma Samadhi also, now at this point. Where is wisdom? Wisdom naturally arises when you practice Samma Samadhi. It is natural. It swells out of the Samma Samadhi. It is not another practice. It is the, end result of this whole practice. Now, back again to the fourth noble truth. Let me summarize this to you today and then finish up. Idang kopana bhikkhave dukkha nirodha gāminī paṭipadā. Now, dukkha means what you call here. You take it as unsatisfactoriness. And the way leading to the cessation. Nirodha means cessation. Now, what are we doing for our unsatisfactoriness on a daily basis? We are going to temporary. We do some plaster treatments every day. Whenever we have an unsatisfactoriness, we do some plaster treatments. Tomorrow it will not happen. And I do something today. So we do things like that. But this is called nirodha, cessation. We don't want to cease it. How we can cease the unsatisfactoriness? By putting these 8 factors into the path, one by one, and then practicing simultaneously one day. One by one, we do it for the first time, and then how do we practice it? All together. I told you the other day and many other days, there are people who might think, this month I practice Samma Ditthi, November maybe Samma Sankappa, December maybe Samma Vacha, then you will forget about everything by April. That means first, you maybe within a month of time, you try to think about these 8. Try to practice one by one, giving kind of a window about it. And then maybe after that, you're going to practice all these 8 together whenever you think the time is up for different what you call path factors. Whenever you speak with Samma Vacha. Whenever you act, you work with Samma Kamma. Whenever you come up with intentions, you do with Samma Sankappa. Right? Whenever you are working with your living, you practicing Samma Ajiva. Whenever you are trying to stay consistent in your practice, Samma Vayama. Whenever you practice Satipatthanas, Samma Sati. Samma Sati is the most important. Satipatthana, Samma under Sati. Satipatthanas come under Samma Sati. Then jhanas, what we call the jhanas with the perspective of attaining Nibbana, we call it Samma Samadhi. We practice it with the purpose of attaining wisdom. So this is called Dukkha, nirodha, gāminī, paṭipadā, ariyasaccaṁ. Once again, I want to tell you this is a single process, but the single process has been explained in 4 ways. The most important thing out of the Four Noble Truths is last one, the Noble Eightfold Path. But this makes you into the path. This makes you complete the path. By understanding the Four Noble Truths, thereby you are going to create vijja, not avijja anymore. All right. From next Monday, what we're going to do here is that we're going to this part, Tiparivatta and Dvadasaka. Now, this is important. Let me give you sort of a kind of a heads up. What is Tiparivatta? What is Dvadasaka? In understanding the Four Noble Truths, we should understand the Four Noble Truths with Tiparivatta and Dvadasaka. These are two things, two ways to understand. We must learn how they work in terms of the Four Noble Truths. Let's learn that next Monday. Any questions for today? Now, today you should be able to ask anything about the Four Noble Truths because we are going into the Tiparivatta and Dvadasaka of the Dhammacakkapavatthana Sutta. Any questions for today's session or maybe for previous sessions? And I want to tell you about newcomers. Please go through the blog. You can see the blog from the WhatsApp group. You can go back one by one. You can go back to the day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 days. All the notes are there. All right. Any questions? Yes, Brother John. Yes. Yes, that is the most important reason why people have moral shame and moral fear. But there are other reasons too. Let me tell you other reasons. Some people have hiri and nottappa because there is a pressure from the family backgrounds. My mother will blame me, my father will blame me, my family will blame me if I do this wrong. Another thing is what you call punishments. Punishments, the penal court of a country. Let's say if I do this, I will be prosecuted, I will be arrested, and I will have to go through this and that. Another one is what we call dukkha baya. Yes, kamma vipaka, as you said. That's the most important. I think a lot of people, they avoid from bad karmas because that they create bad vipakas, karmas, not just because of the punishments and the other thing. Yes, so the primary inspiration for many people to have hiri and nottappa means karma. Yes, they will have to go through bad experiences in these lives. Because most of the things that we are experiencing in our life are coming from karma. Right? They are coming from karma. So, karma vipakas. But hiri and nottappa are very important for us to practice our kusala things. Make sense? Any other questions? Yes, please. Can you come forward and ask a question? No, the person experiences Nibbana. Because we talk about, I think last Monday we talked about 2 stages of Nibbana. So that means when somebody attains Nibbana, that person experiences everything that is happening during that time. Right? Now, what is stopping at that point is that creating karmas for next life. That will be stopped at the moment that person attains Nibbana. But still he or she is doing what you call activities. They are karmas also, but they are not taking effect in next lives. So the answer is that when someone attains Nibbana, that person fully experiences everything. This jhanas and all that. As I told everybody last Monday, there are 2 stages of Nibbana. That means if you are attaining Nibbana, there are two stages. One is that you attain Nibbana. Let's say somebody attains Nibbana now. Then you experiences everything. And then it is not the full attainment of Nibbana. We call it Kilesa Nibbana. Then when you pass away, that is the point. You get the full benefit of Nibbana. That means you are not existing anymore. That is the benefit of Nibbana. You experience it fully at the time you gain it while you are living. And then when you pass away, then you are ending death. You may have sicknesses. You get most of the Arahants, when they were sick, they were telling the Buddha, I was so intolerable, pain is so high. That means they're still having the issues of the health. They're still having the issue of the life. But they stop the next life. So they experience it in their life at the time of Nibbana. But according to Buddhism, there is a second stage of Nibbana. That will happen when they pass away. Then their body also going to be decomposed, and there is no next life. Then nothing is going to be experienced. There is no experience. Plus, there is no experience. That's how we look at it. So, every Arahant, everybody who is becoming an Arahant, is having this direct experience about what is happening. All right, so let's then wrap this up at this point by transferring good karmas to the departed ones and sharing good karmas with the Devanaga Mahindika. May all the good karmas which we've been accumulating today by discussing about the fourth noble truth, Dukkha, nirodha, gāminī, paṭipadā, ariyasaccaṁ, be transferred to all the departed ones, all the good karmas.